Hey guys, my name is Evelyn. I recently competed in a bikini bodybuilding competition for the first time, and today I'm going to share some tips on how to get started with posing. I'm going to cover four things today. The first thing is to how to select a posing coach and when. Second are all the different materials you need in order to get started. And the third is how to practice posing on your own. And the last piece is how to optimize your posing sessions with your coach. So part one, getting a posing coach. I'm assuming that if you've decided to compete in a bodybuilding competition, you're already working out and you're already tracking your macros, for example. But one thing you might not have been doing before considering a physique sport is posing. It's not something people do every day, right? So this is going to be the most brand new piece of the puzzle. And I suggest that you get a coach specifically for posing and you get a coach early in prep. For example, if you already started prep, like get a posing coach now. You don't want it to be something that you practice for the last 4 weeks of prep because it's going to be the most brand new thing that you're incorporating into your routine. So one thing that you should consider when you're looking for a posing coach is to look at their routine and look at their style. Like some people are really slow, some people are really bouncy, some people are really cute, some people are really sexy. So you need to figure out what's their style and are you vibing with it, because they're probably going to teach you based on their philosophy. And at the end of the day, you're going to be encouraged to come up with your own style and the way you want to present yourself. But if you already like what the other person's doing, that helps a lot. All right, so what are the things you need to get started with posing and practicing and having your session and all of that? So the first thing you need are shoes. Yeah, I know these look like stripper heels, but they're not. And the reason I know it is because I've been to pole class and the shoes you need for those, the platform is way thicker, right? So get proper shoes. You can go cheaper on this and there are Amazon options that you can buy. Like for example, I bought this one off-brand called Ellie on Amazon. I'll put a link in a photo here. And those are around $30, right? But there's a reason why all the pros and everyone is using this brand, for example, the Shoe Fairy. And if you look at any IFBB Pros profiles, they'll have a discount link. So that's one way to get it a little bit cheaper, for example. And they're not that much more expensive. They range from around $60 to $90. And I think the main difference here is that the cushioning on this is so much more superior. I have been using this and the other one both and been practicing in both heels, right? And the reason I got two is that you want to have an extra pair because on show day, you have no idea what's going to happen. Like the shoes that you have might break or get stolen. So you want to have an extra pair just in case. What are you going to do when you get to the show? If you can't find your shoe or it's broken, find another chick in another division that has the exact same shoe size as you and you're wearing shoes that you haven't been practicing in. That's not ideal. So have two pairs of shoes. I definitely suggest just going for the brand, like the Shoe Fairy brand. It's so comfortable, and also it doesn't wear as much, the padding. The padding still looks brand new, and I've been using it just as much. There are two styles of shoes you can get. You can get one with a strap around the ankle, and that's the one that I got at first. And because I don't naturally, walk around in heels every day, all day, just learning how to walk in them again was a challenge. So yeah, I would suggest getting the one with the straps. And of course, on show day, I wore the one with the straps. But for getting in and out of it very easily, for example, when I make breakfast, sometimes I just wear these because it's easy to slip on and I walk around in it and I practice posing because it's just easier. So you want to have both. And these are less stable, right? Because so you're going to feel they're a little bit more loose, but you might get a little bit more pivot and you can move a little bit differently in them. So it's nice to practice in both. Towards the end, I was if I can practice in these and feel confident, then I'll definitely be confident with the one with the straps. So the second item that you need is a posing suit. So I got mine from Toxic Angel Bikinis, and that's where I ended up getting my competition suit from. And like I said, again, if you go to a bunch of IFBB Bikini Pro profiles, everybody has a discount code. So that's one way to get it a little bit cheaper. And the reason you want a posing suit is that you want a suit that's cut exactly the way that your competition suit is going to look like, so that you can take pictures and videos and see the progress in the exact same suit. When you're taking progress pictures, you don't want to wear a different outfit every time. You want to wear the same suit in the same lighting and take those pictures or videos at the same time of day. So you're keeping everything consistent, right? I don't take my check-in photos at 6 a.m. one day and then like 3 p.m. another day. Of course, like as you get deeper into prep, you're going to do 2 check-ins, like 1 a.m., 1 p.m., but that's a little bit different. So get a posing suit because you want to see the shape of your body change as you're going through prep, and you want to be wearing the same outfit. And this has like a good amount of padding. Good amount of padding, which you're gonna need because like as your body fat goes down, you're gonna end up having no boobs. Um, like me, I'm a 34D, but by the end of prep, I had like no boobs whatsoever. But the good news is that they grow back. Third item that you need is a ring light. You want to make sure that you have good lighting when you're making these videos for your posing coach and also doing your check-in photos for your competition prep coach, because they need to be able to see like all the different things that are happening to your body as your shape changes while you're in prep. So you want to have good lighting. I try to stick to like doing it in the same place in my house at the same time every day, so the lighting is consistent. Like you don't want to put filters or anything like that on your check-in videos or your posing videos that you're sending to your coach. Like you want it to look as real as possible because they're not getting to see you in real life. The last thing you need is a phone stand, a decent phone stand. I'll put a link to the one that I have that I use, but the way I do my check-in photos and also the videos for my posing coach is that I just set up the phone stand far away and then I do my poses. And also I use those videos to do check-in photos because it's hard to like put a timer on, do the pose, go back, right? So I do those. I practice my posing and I use those videos to pause at my front pose, side, and my back, and then take screenshots of it and use that as my check-in photos because it's just much easier to get yourself in that moment, through video rather than doing like a timer version. Okay, how to practice. Let me start with before you practice. So if I practice posing in the morning, then I always do back stretches and breathing exercises before. The reason for back stretches is that you're going to need to twist a lot, and it's very difficult to do when you're like lifting and you're tired and you wake up first thing in the morning, right? So I just do like yoga poses that are back stretches, and then I do my vacuum exercises because that helps me control my abs, and it's just a nice thing to do first thing in the morning. So that's what I do if I do AM posing. If I do PM, it's typically after I work out. So I'm already warmed up and I already have a good pump, so I like feel good. So I don't really do any warm up before that. When you first get started, it's going to be different based on every posing coach, but what I had to do was figure out like, okay, hold the front pose and the back pose. So your first task is going to be to hold it and keep it exactly where it needs to be, right? So I would put on a song, and the first thing I would do is hold my front pose, hold my back pose for a song, right? And then once I feel like I'm happy with it, then I go from step 1 to step 2, and then step 2 to 3, and then 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So it just depends on how many steps your posing routine has. But once I'm happy with like front to side, then I go from side to back, then I go from back to front, and then I walk off, and I just keep building upon it. Once I've practiced enough for the day, then I'll do a recording. I typically do like 2 to 3 recordings because at this point you're pretty tired. And then I do one recording, I watch it, and then I'm like, oh shit, okay, my toe needs to be here, my hip needs to be more out, my chest needs to be more up. Then I evaluate, and then I practice again, and I usually do like 2 to 3 rounds of that. Okay, the last piece, how to maximize your posing session, right? Just like personal training sessions, these are sessions that you pay for, right? So you want to maximize that class time that you get with your coach. And this is what I do. First of all, I always warm up before the actual session itself. And the way it worked between me and Masa is that a few nights before our actual session, she would ask me to send one of my video recordings of my practice, and then she would evaluate it and give me pointers, right? And then I would take those notes, and then I would try to incorporate it for like the last couple of days leading up to the session. And once we get to the session, those are grueling. Like posing sessions were way harder than working out. But anyway, you get through the session, You try to absorb as much as you can, and as soon as the session ends, I actually would just lay down on the floor and record a voice note to myself so I remember everything while it's still fresh. And I'll put a clip of, one of my voice notes. I'm literally just talking to myself, right? Like, hey, remember to do this. Like on your front pose, you need to like suck in your stomach, put your chest out, like twist more, right? So I kind of say those notes to myself out loud because it's easier than writing it down. And then I listen to those voice notes before I start practicing for the following week. And it really helps me like set goals for exactly what I need to improve on. Posing notes. So first of all, when you're walking, make sure your hands are flowing in front of your body and kind of make them loose. Make sure you're looking at the judges the entire time. From the walking to hitting the front pose needs a lot of work. That left foot needs to go on the toe right away, absolutely no weight. And the way the knee is bent, you need to hit that shape. And from there, the transitions need to be a lot quicker. The entire routine is going to be 20 seconds max. So aim for 15. And then when the back pose just needs a lot of work. Shoulder width and toes out. Just practice it with eyes closed or something. And then from the back to model pose is okay. Make sure you stick out your butt and then keep the chest up. And then from there, moving back, hitting that front pose. Again, make sure the feet are placed perfectly. Don't lean too much forward when you're getting into it. And then before you wave, so front pose, back to model pose, make sure you're only showing your waist profile, wave, and walk away, but make sure you're looking at the main judge who's in the center while walking away. And try practicing the call out. So being in the middle versus being in the left and being on the right. Hands need to relax. Make sure your hand comes all the way down before you do the wave. That's it, guys. Posing is going to be hard. And if it's your first time competing and doing a competition, like it's going to be the most foreign thing. But once you get into the groove of doing it every day, it's going to become fun, and you're going to do just fine. If I can do it, you can do it. So the moral of the story is get a posing coach, get a good one, start posing early, and get all the necessary materials that you need. For example, like your bathing suit and your shoes. I would say don't skimp on your shoes because, it really counts to have a nice pair of shoes that you're going to wear throughout prep. And the final thing is, practice every day and take notes and be an expert on critiquing yourself and evaluating very fine details so you can improve every time you do a recording and every time you watch a recording. So good luck, guys. If you found this video to be helpful, then please like it, subscribe it, help my channel grow. And that's it, guys. Bye.